the ceiling done, we are moving down, and the next order of business is to paint the trim around the window. So I've got to take a little bit of care in doing that. Still going to use my 1.5 inch brush and I'll paint that in. I've got this ultra pure white semi-gloss in this little can here. Had that for a few years, but it in still perfect condition. Mixing it up right now. And that's what we're going to use on the trim here. I have to do that because I had to fill in some holes. As you can see here, we put some wood compound in there to fill those up. That's where they had the blinds hooked up, so I want to cover that up, make it look really nice and bright. And then we'll put some curtain rods up once we're done with this. After we get this done, we'll be able to move on to the walls. Over here, the rest of the room, etc., and get that completed. I anticipate that taking about an hour. It shouldn't really take that long. I may need 2 coats, most likely I will. So after that dries for a couple of hours, I'll come back through and put a second coat on there and get that finished. So we will give you an update soon and we'll go from there. We have completed the first coat of finish paint on the trim work around the window. And I am definitely going to need a second coat because the slightly darker shade that was on the trim work, the more flat look, is showing through the semi-gloss. If you go real close, you can see those streaks in there. So we want to remove those with a second coat of finish paint on there. But you can actually start to see it pop out from the window. The trim work's looking very nice. So we're gonna let that dry probably a couple of hours, and then we'll come back and finish it off with a second coat. I also did the windowsill. You can see how bright that is starting to look. You can see the glossy coming through. So that's gonna be really nice when it dries. So we should be able to get this done today. So we just finished the second coat of paint on the trim work around the window, and it turned out really nice. You can see how bright that white is really popping out from the window, even though it's just starting to get a little towards dusk here, but it looks really good. Finished it up pretty well. The paint went on good, and it's covering up the shading that was on the background, if you saw from the earlier video that I took. So we are in a good spot with this one also. So with that being said, we just completed another one here, and now we are going to move on to the walls, and we'll get that the next couple of days here. Again, we're gonna cut into the corners first and get all the trim work on that piece done, and then we will move on to rolling on the paint on the walls. So until then, we're going to close this one out also, and we will see you next time. Until then, peace out.